Welcome back, you beautiful brave hearts all around the world. Okay, so today's one a day is become a mature and evolved human being. Now, some of you might think, oh my God, is he calling us childish? No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, though, and see if you can answer them. First of all, what runs and rules your whole life? What runs and rules your whole life? If you said the mind, you were right. If you said the subconscious, you're even more correct. Okay? Now, what is the purpose? What's the purpose of your subconscious, otherwise your mind? What is the purpose of your subconscious, otherwise your mind? To keep you safe. It is always going to be, okay, and its most important thing is going to be survival. That's it. That's it. It doesn't care about thriving, only surviving. And understand something. Its first thing is fear. Anything new that you will do, you will think about, okay, it is going to create fear for you. It is going to take, did you ever notice something? That you can actually remember your fearful moments more than your celebrations. Your fearful moments are more evident and prominent and dominant in your life than your celebrations are. And the reality is that's the way the human brain was actually created. Why does it keep you in survival, okay, as much as it possibly can? Because it doesn't want you risking your life until you procreate. Procreation is the most important thing for the human mind, and people don't even get this. Let me tell you something. When I was younger, okay, procreation was the only thing on my mind. Why? Because guess what? One job of the human brain is to keep the human species alive. Bet you didn't know that. It's the God's truth. And the reality is, this is why you have so much trouble making changes in your life. Even if you see something that can change you, that can save you, okay? Your mind is going to go, I've never seen this before. It does not vibrate, okay? It is too high up. It doesn't vibrate where fear things are, because your mind will try to hang on to fear to keep you right here so that you don't venture out there and do things that are going to end your life before you procreate or keep on procreating. That's what it wants. So here's the deal. When you're in survival mode, which is where most people are 99% of their day, and they're going to tell you they're not, but everybody doesn't even know or understand their own personality. Have you ever said to someone, did you see how you just talked to me? Did you see how you just treated me? Did you see how you just looked at me? All right. People don't understand. The person who said it doesn't understand their personality, how they're always in defense. And the other person is going, what do you mean? This is who I am. But is it actually who we are? Whether you believe it or not, there are at least 150 people around here in this pool right here. And I'm guaranteeing you that none of these people are their authentic self unless they know how to stay in the moment and own it. Do you know how much work it takes to come up against a computer, which that's all your mind is? It's just a computer. It just runs programs. But it has a built-in program, okay, called survival. And that survival is continually bringing up the emotion or the feeling of fear, false evidence appearing real. Or you keep on doing those prominent, dominant thoughts and going dumpster diving into the past and digging out the garbage of the trauma drama, which keeps you from what? Evolving. It keeps you from maturing. Because if you can't be in flow, you can't change anything in your life, you will stay stagnant. And that is where 99% of the population is. Now, I said today that I would be coming on here, okay, and I would be doing a one-a-day called Outsmart Cancer. And the reality is I'm going to be leaving because we have to leave early because we're hoping that we get on our plane. Believe it or not, I was supposed to be in Australia 7 days ago. I've already missed 3 major lectures. And I'm going to make it for my lecture for Brisbane on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I'm in Byron Bay. And then I'm in Coffs Harbour during the week, the following week. And but all these lectures are free if you go to bhnuniversity.com or Braveheart Nation if you're from that area and you'd like to come. But I'll be coming on live anyways. But anyways, I got to go to the airport. I got to stay there and make sure that I get my flight. It doesn't fly until 10 o'clock tonight. And then it's an 18-hour flight. And then, you know, we get into Sydney and then we got to fly to Melbourne. Anyways, that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. And I really need to get out of this town. And I need to get on my way. But you know what? We've made the best of it. So I'm going to get back to it. So whether you want to believe this or not, cancer is actually caused by that survival brain of yours, okay, that stays in a fear situation. Understand, most people that get cancer, they get cancer because that's their personality, okay, whether you believe this or not. The C in cancer, and I'll be going into this in great detail, but I don't know when because I'm going to be flying and I get to Australia on Thursday. By the time I get to Brisbane, it will be probably around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So anyways, sometime in the next few days, I'm going to do how to outsmart cancer. And I'm telling you, I know how to outsmart cancer. Okay. And the answer, I'm going to give you a couple tips right now. The C in cancer stands for corruption, contamination, and conflict. And the reason why they create that in your external life is to create it in your internal life. You see? And the reality is the more conflict, the more contamination, and the more corruption that they can make you buy into, the more you're going to bring it into your body, the more that you're going to do that on a physical level. Because when I say you need to stay in flow, you can't stay in flow unless you're in the present moment. And if you're in the present moment, then you are not in the survival mode. And that means that your subconscious brain is not in charge right now. And I've said it before, but the majority of the population are only in the present moment, 2%. And if you don't go to brainwash boot camp to get trained, then guess what? You're going to stay there for your whole life. And whether you want to believe this or not, 99% of the population is going to stay in survival mode. Okay, they are going to have a life that's based on so much suffering every day. And remember something, all of the belief systems that actually live in that head of yours, in that mind of yours, mainly in the subconscious, the more that you feed them, the bigger they get. And the bigger they get, if they're negative, they will eat you up. And that's called dis-ease, which means out of alignment. And that means that you are not focused on the spirit. Every morning I get up and I go, I am not this body. I am a spirit being. And the only way for me to actually evolve and mature is to process everything through my heart, because that's smart. If I process through my brain, which is my mind, it is already programmed. Okay, it's okay. Your mind has been programmed to be fearful for the rest of your life. Your mind has been programmed so for you to be in survival mode and not to risk anything. I risk all the time. I risk things all the time. I don't risk my life. Wait a minute here. Just being on this life-threatening, fun-filled adventure, okay, I'm risking my life. But the reality is because, you know what, these psychos are always trying to poison us, or, you know, it's like this, okay? I was talking to a beautiful lady today, and she's getting a power pack. She's going to buy herself Sonic at a cardio med bed here. She lives in California. And she says, yeah, I was talking to my my husband, and he's actually going to be putting this together. And he goes, yeah, I looked up this Dr. Wolf, and yeah, it looks like he does a lot of great things, but they say that he murdered 3 people. Yeah, isn't it amazing how you can murder 3 people and you can still run around the world? And understand, I'm trying to tell you something. It's all about fear. It's all about BS, bad science and bad belief systems. And they want to keep it here, because if you're not in the flow, you can't take the invisible and create a beautiful physical life on this planet. And understand, I already told you this, the psychological rules the biological. So that's where your cancer comes in. So if you're not going to change your personality, you are going to have to do like massive willpower, okay, to get rid of it, or you're going to be like everybody else. I'm going to fight the cancer. I'm going to go to war with my body, which is not the most intelligent thing. And I'm not telling you you couldn't win the war, but I'm going to tell you there's going to be a lot of casualties along the way, okay? And most people lose when they go to fight cancer, but you will never lose when you go to love, honor, and respect your body and learn about unconditional love. If you were to perfect unconditional love down here, then you could stay in the present moment and own it most of the day. Do you actually think that I'm run by fear? Do you actually think that I'm in survival mode? I am never in survival mode. And if I even smell that, I can smell it a mile away, it's never going to happen. It's called 3, 2, 1, I got this. 3, 2, 1, I'm bigger than this. 3, 2, 1. My spirit is 99.999% of myself, and this is just a meat suit. But I'm going to respect this meat suit while I'm here, and I'm not going to let anybody else dishonor or disrespect this meat suit. Nobody's going to poison me on an emotional or physical level. I'm not going to listen to any of this toxic stuff. You know, we went to a movie. People are not going to mature or evolve, because if you even go to movies or you watch Netflix or you do that, we went to a movie to see Twister. Now, in this movie, you know what they said? There was a guy in there and he goes, "Oh, I haven't seen you in many years." And I said this yesterday, but I got to say it again. If you go see this movie and, "Oh, I haven't seen you in many years." Oh, yeah, I lost myself, which means he didn't know what to do. He was in fear mode. He couldn't mature or evolve. So guess what? I joined the armed forces and I went overseas, okay, to fight with my brothers. To fight who? To fight your brothers, to kill your brothers and sisters. Thank you very much. I don't need to get into that. That's my personal feeling. I probably shouldn't bring that here, but that's the God's truth. You tell me a war that us of America have ever created, okay, that we have created that we needed to, okay? Understand something. All wars are created over money and bankers. That's it. End of story. And you know what? We all want to go out there and be a hero. How many people go out there and come home a hero? So today I said, you know, the most important thing for you to do is to evolve and mature. And that is not going to war with cancer. That is going to love the 50 trillion cells, 500 trillion bacteria in your body, and learning to be in the moment and own it and have faith and courage, not fear. But that's not what's going to happen with most people, because most people will opt for chemo, which is mustard gas, radiation. Well, why go to the hospital? Just stay at home and use your microwave. You think I'm kidding? That's how ridiculous we are. And the reality is this. It's all about survival, isn't it? If it was about thriving, you would never pick these other things. You wouldn't pick these low vibrational things. So to pick low vibrational treatments, to pick low vibrational practitioners, thank you very much, you have to have low vibrational program that you don't even know you have. And that's the God's truth. So just know this. When I say evolving and maturing, that means that owning the moment, feeding your spirit, knowing that which created the universe has always loved you, because you will be fearful and you will be just barely a survivor if you believe that you're going to hell, okay, or that you're not good enough. Okay. Like I said, I'll be talking about how to outsmart cancer, but I'm going to tell you, everybody, this. Go look up Dr. Otto Warburg. He received 2 Nobel Prizes. Yeah, and he's the one who discovered cancer. Now, with all the cancer talk, why do we have commercials talking about that cancer is caused because of 35% deficit of oxygen in your cells, and it's happened for more than 3 days? Why don't we talk about how if your cholesterol comes down to about 120, which it will after approximately taking it for 1.5 years to 2 years of statin drugs, because you have high cholesterol, and there's no such thing as high cholesterol, and no one's ever died of high cholesterol, and we just got screwed over again. And when you don't have enough making of cholesterol in your body, then you will end up with cancer, which is what? It's stage 3 or 4 or 5 inflammation, because there is no cancer. There's just, I told you, the C stands for corruption, contamination, and conflict, which goes on here first. The cancer started here, okay? And then it spread throughout the body because it's called inflammation. And when you have inflammation, you eat up the oxygenation, because every fire eats up oxygen, and every fire will take meat and make it into beef jerky. So there you go. You've got this dried out piece of fibroid calcified, because where there's inflammation, there's going to be acidosis. Wherever there's acidosis, you have to be alkaline. That's why the most important thing you'll ever do is get alkaline minerals, and that's why they stole the minerals from the soil. That's why there's no microorganisms living in the soil anymore, because they took all the minerals out of the soil. When you take the minerals out of the soil, they're not in the food. When they're not in the food, they're not in the human. When they're not in the human never gets to turn off their hunger valve, and the hunger valve just keeps on going. And so what you get is, what I'm looking at right now is tons of overweight people here and obesity. And then you get the odd person like this girl who comes out here, and she's lean, keen, and she's young. So she's like in her 20s. But guess what? Isn't it kind of funny how everybody says, I used to be an athlete. Yeah, well, so was everybody else when they were in their 20s and 30s. They were healthy. They were vibrant. And guess what? I'll be 67 in 2 weeks. And guess what? I'm healthy and I'm vibrant. And when I'm 77, 87, and 97, I'll be healthy and I'll be vibrant, because guess what? Aging is not in the DNA. There are no genetic diseases, and there is no such thing as 110 cancers, because there's not even one cancer. There's just inflammation, and cancer does not spread throughout the body. I'm just giving you a whole bunch of things to trigger you. So when I come on next time and talk about how to outsmart cancer, maybe you won't banter at me and you've done some homework, okay? All right? Because cancer doesn't spread. What does spread is inflammation. I already told you. It's just the weak link that goes. That place that does not have enough oxygen becomes cancerous. It's not that the cancer went from my lungs to my brain, or from my liver to my bowel, or my bowel to my pancreas. This is not even true. Every story that you know about health that the medical system gives, and they've told it over and over and over again, if you tell a lie long enough and strong enough, you're going to believe it. Let me tell you something. When I tell the real truth, boy, the people get pissed off. You know what somebody said to me today, okay? You know, Daryl, you might as well just, and I kind of felt for myself for a minute like a wimp. But Daryl, it's like this, I got to tell you, and it was a practitioner. You know what? People either love you or they hate you. And I'm like, well, you know, that really kind of sucks, I said. But I said, I'm not going to change the mission. I'm not sure how to change it. And like my friend said, is just keep telling the truth, because, and this is what he said. So I'm not saying it. You probably don't believe it. But he said to me, Daryl, I got to tell you right now, I listen to you all the time. And this practitioner, you might even know, they're really big. They're known around the world. And they said, look, just keep doing what you're doing. Because the only people that you're pissing off are the people that don't want to hear it, because they've got to change their life and they don't want to change their life. And you're the inconvenient truth. And the reality is if you want the inconvenient truth, I'm going to keep on giving it. And I'm going to tell you something. I so love you. I so love you. I don't even know you, but I so love you. And I really hope that, and I pray that you could love you as much as I truly do love you. And it's going to be very, very difficult, because the main thing that has been going on is devolving, okay, and our mind never maturing, okay, to the level of spirit awareness. Our mind only has one program, and that's survival. And understand something, everybody. When you're in survival, you turn off your immune system completely. Please go do some science. If you are fearful about getting well, going to hell, having a disease that's going to take your life, you're going bye-bye. I'm going to tell you something that is the truth. Everybody talks about these psycho elite that actually murder people, start the wars, steal people's money, okay, poison the food, poison the air, poison the... We know that. We know that. And the reality is this. most of them are healthier than the people that get on their knees and beg God, please. And the reality is this, whether you want to believe it or not, don't think I don't believe in God, because I do, but I don't believe in the same God that 99.9% of the population do, because mine has never judged me. Thank you very much. I need to be off the hook so I can focus on what I'm doing, my passion and my purpose. Do you understand? And the thing is that if I do something, I'm going to observe it, I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to grow from it, because I know that running away from things that I've done that are incorrect or things that have harmed other people, I need to sit down and observe and learn. And I need to apologize, okay? Whether it's to my body or to another human being, even if I was ignorant of the fact, or even if somebody says, you hurt me, I'd say, I apologize. Even if I didn't, I want to know how I can work that with that person and show them love, even if I didn't do it. The reality is we need to stop making ourselves wrong or other people, okay? We need to make nobody wrong. We need to sing a new song, which is observe, don't judge, because someone's got to go to jail then, okay? And understand, learn, don't burn, and don't come to me about this hell stuff. And I'll tell you right now, all the people that would like to see me there, get together and pray and see if you can get me to go to hell today or tomorrow, or when I leave this planet. It will be impossible. People have been given such low vibrational and toxic beliefs. You know what? Think about it. To actually take time and energy to tell someone that I'm only saying this because somebody told me I could go to hell yesterday on my Facebook. And that usually happens once a week. So, that's not too bad, right? And the reality is think about it. These are people that are telling you that they believe in the Almighty. They believe in unconditional love, but I don't really think they do, because it's conditional love, and they must have conditional religion. I guess I really don't know. I will have nothing to do with religion, and I'm telling you that right now. So, but at the same point, I will honor your beliefs. I will honor your religion as long as it's not coming in to actually try to do anything to me or change me, because I only have unconditional love. I don't have anything else. Well, what are your rules, Daryl? Unconditional love when people come into my home. Well, what are your rules, Daryl, with your practitioner? Unconditional love when people come to take any courses or do anything with me. It's just about unconditional love. You be you, I'll be me, and let's just keep each other free. And the reality is I'm going to come back to this. If you have any fear, you're never going to heal. But you may heal with tons of massive personal action and willpower and exhaust yourself, but it's just going to come back. Remember something, unconditional love, if you could perfect it, you would get rid of the disease because you'd be back in alignment. You'd be back in alignment. So it doesn't matter whether you've got fungus in your toes or fungus in your nose, or you've got a fibroid in your breast, or you've got a fibroid in your pelvis. It's all inflammation that started here first. I'll tell you what, go watch, because I'm not going to do it for at least 4 or 5 days because of the whole trip I'm on, but go watch The Emotional Chemistry of Cancer, Disease, and Healing. And it's in my Doc of Detox library, and you'll get as close to the perfect thing as possible. Okay, the perfect thing being, it was the longest study ever done on cancer, proving that cancer starts off as a thought first. And then you feed that thought long enough and strong enough. And depending on the vibration of it, okay, and the negativity where it's coming from, okay, whether it's depression, whether it's hate and anger, and what the hate and the anger is for, then it'll depend on what part of the body that these issues get lodged in your tissues, and it goes from inflammation to swelling to stiffness to redness to scar tissue to fibroid to tumor, okay? And it all started off as a rumor. So let's get back to it. So the reality is we need to evolve and mature the mind, okay, into being into the present moment. And that will take you going to Brainwash Boot Camp. Whether you come to my whole life health coach certification, doesn't matter who you are. You could be anywhere from 12 years old to 112 years old, okay? And you can be a doctor or nurse, or you can be a mother or a father, or you can be an accountant or a student. It doesn't matter. Wouldn't it be something? Wouldn't it be something to be able to get back into alignment this fast? Wouldn't it be something to actually not lose it? Not lose it. Whether it's a silent loss in here because you don't speak your mind, or you blow up all the time. Okay? This is called the City of Angels, and I don't know. I think there's angels everywhere in the world, and I want to tell you something right now. Just remember something: you are not your beliefs. If you don't like your life, if you have a disease, there's no such thing, and we go over this all the time. There are no diseases. They're just being out of alignment. So anyways, I'm going to go head to the airport right now. I might come on at the airport if I see something interesting, but if not, I'll see you guys maybe in 24 hours, okay? Because I've got about 20 hours of flying to do, okay? Listen, spread your wings. See the wings behind me? Well, spread your wings and learn how to fly. That means first love yourself, okay? Have a beautiful day. God bless.